Oh, is that the silent one? Hi, YouTube.
Hey.
Welcome to the 10-minute update. As usual, we're going to cover a couple topics in this 10-minute update live from Twitch. If you've never joined the Twitch live stream, we recommend you to join. You'll get the 10-minute update, but also a lot of open talk and questions that we answer live on the Twitch live stream. We do it every Friday, every 2 weeks on a Friday. So just look at when the last live stream was, or when you see this YouTube, and then plus 2 weeks on a Friday. So hope to see you there. Now let's get into the 10-minute update. So first thing is the Wooting 2 Lekker edition. So I bet that you've been waiting a while to hear some more update news, because the last thing that you know was that we're going to go into a DVT, and somehow we're going to do a mass production today. This month, not today, like next week. So let's start off with the DVT. The DVT test went really good. Remember, design validation test. If you did the quiz, you would have known this one. So the design validation test went really well. There were not a lot of issues that came up. There were like minor things. So a couple of examples were when we pop in the stabilizer into the top plate, because the size on the top plate is slightly smaller than the stabilizer, it shave off a little bit of plastic from the stabilizer, where you'll see a little piece of fray up next to it. It's hard to spot. It happens, but it's not a big deal. Then we had that the PCBA, when they cut the holes in the PCBA, there is still a little bit of burr left from cutting it. And then when you do the assembly of the switches don't always completely install into the PCBA. So you have these prongs going into the PCBA, but because of the burr, the switch is kind of pushed out and the PCBA bit down, which increases the distance between the magnet and the sensor. And this is what we noticed during the tests, that we were getting different results than what we expected. So we found out that was because of PCBA burr, because when you take out the switch and put it back in again, it completely installs. So that's also something that can be prevented before they go into mass production. So that was not too bad. Then there was one thing that we were not really able to solve, which I'll go into more details in the blog. But it's about the top plate and how the top plate installs onto the bottom case, and then how it goes flush with the bottom case on the edges. It's a bit too much to talk about right now, but that's something that we were not able to solve, and we prioritized doing production this month versus solving this issue. So I'll get into that when I do the detailed blog. Now, the last part, and this is the situation we're in right now, is that after the short phase DVT, where we have what I just explained, an assembly test and everything, we go into this okay, now we can do the operational test, like humidity, water, and heat and cold, and how does the keyboard operate, and also do the CE FCC certification. So before we did the DVT, we already did what's called the pre-test EMI. So it's about electronic magnetic interference. So does our keyboard around other electronic devices interfere with other devices? So we did a pre-test, and after some changes, we were able to pass the test. But now with our DVT sample, we did the pre-test again before sending it to the lab for FCC CE, and we failed the test, and we failed it pretty bad. And that's quite scary, because if we can't pass the test, then we probably can't do the production. And so we were kind of, over the last week, been trying to find out what's different between the EVT sample and the DVT sample that caused the issue. And we think we've narrowed it down to a software change that we made, which is causing, which is causing electronics to activate more frequently than what is necessary, because we were very focused on optimizing a special version that I wanted to use. So we think it's a software issue. So we've we reverted the change, and now have new DVT samples going to the lab for pre-test, and then we'll find out if that solves the issue or not. If it doesn't solve the issue, there's going to be some scratching on the head. What the heck we're going to do? Because I don't know how far we can push it, and what is okay and what is not okay. But if that works out, then mass production is still on for the 22nd of January. It might be a day or 2 or 3 later than the 22nd of January. I already heard from the supplier that some electronic components will be a few days late. But we're still going to do the mass production either on the 22nd or within the next 3 days after or something like that. This manufacturer is getting ready to do the complete production at that time. They already started doing pre-assembly today, if I'm right. Yeah, they already did pre-assembly today, meaning they already did part of the assembly of all the keyboards today in preparation for the final assembly. To be honest, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure if they only did the PCBA with the pre-assembly or they did more than just the PCBA, where they also, I know, assembled some other parts. That I'm not 100% sure about that, which parts they exactly assembled already. But yeah, these are all signs that we're going to go into mass production. So only the EMI testing is kind of the scary part to see what's going on. But if that works out, then we'll be doing mass production.
Yeah, finally, yes. Oh, I'm so excited about this. Oh,
yeah. So that's it's freaking awesome, and I really wanted to have a written update out by now, but the second topic, other than the being the new year and everything, and we having this pre-EMI thing, making it a little bit conflicting to is it good to do an update already, written update or not? But as you know, we had a lot of the Fortnite, a lot of attention from Fortnite, because we have this double movement thing going on in Fortnite. So we're getting a lot of demand for the keyboards. And I've been really busy with customer service, basically, and trying to fulfill all these orders coming for Fortnite. And that's been keeping me really busy and preventing me from really taking the time to write up an update. So I think now in the end, I'm going to try to throw some smaller updates on Twitter. Mostly on Twitter, as much as I can. And then once we've gone through the mass production, probably, or we're in a phase where it's all clear, I'm just going to write up a nice big update where we just cover everything that just happened between the previous one and now. I think that will be the best. So about Fortnite, if you're one of the people that bought a keyboard because of Fortnite, as you might know, we had so many orders that we didn't have the stock for it in December. And we were starting to buy and gather a lot of stock from some distributors that had too much stock from our keyboards, so we could ship everything out. And we were able to ship everything out in Europe. So everything in Europe went out as expected. And we've been continuously shipping every week for all the orders out in Europe. But now we've run out of stock in Europe for Wooting 1, and I think for Wooting 2 almost as well, right? I'm not sure anymore now.
Yeah, Wooting 1 is gone for sure. Few Wooting 2s left.
Yeah, so that means basically means no more Wooting 1s and Wooting 2s in Europe, like permanently. No more Wooting 1, Wooting 2 Flairtech keyboards in Europe. There's no more stock. There's no more production. And for US, and I'll tell you why later, but for the US, it's a little bit of a different story. We're lucky in a way that a distributor overestimated how much they were able to sell. So they had quite some stock, and we've been able to just buy back that stock and ship out all the orders in the US. We've been also getting a lot more orders in the US than Europe, to be frank, for this whole Fortnite stuff. And now we have stock in the US and we're just shipping every day. But that stock is also finite. Like, the end is not there yet. With the current rate, we can still keep it going for a while. But it will end at some point. And then
Wooting 1 keyboards will become more rare than a 3080.
Yeah. And it's crazy because originally we thought that the Lekker Edition keyboards would already be out on the market. Like the Wooting 2 Lekker Edition would already be on the market, and by now we'd start shipping the Wooting 2 HE, and we would be working in the background on our next keyboard model.
Wait.
But that all got super delayed.
Stick to the 10-minute color.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, okay, but this is interesting. But anyway, okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's not. It's keep it in the 10 minutes. So anyway, so there's a finite stock. If you have questions about it, I can talk more about it after the update. So let's see. Okay, then the last part about Fortnite is a lot of people in the US especially are receiving the keyboard. Some of them have some issues setting up the keyboard. On Twitter, there's a nice post with some common issues that people have. You go through those issues. Maybe one of them is yours. We're going to come with a good troubleshoot article that should fix like 90% of the cases after reviewing what kind of problems people have. And there's also going to be a utility beta, which Erik is going to jump into, which will make troubleshooting a bit easier, other than some improvements.
Okay, so right before the stream, Simon and Jeroen released the long-awaited utility beta. It has some neat new features. I'm not going in depth in this 10-minute update through all the features. I'm just gonna touch on the most important ones. So now we have a built-in gamepad tester in the utility. You can find it next to the analog curve, and you can sort of preview what your what the bindings you have, or the gamepad mapping you made. You can preview them easily. We made a lot of changes to the analog curve, so now there's a whole bunch of new possibilities and new bunch of effects and feelings you can achieve with the analog curve. And the cool part is you can now live preview the effect of a analog curve by just choosing a different preset or changing the curve, and it will automatically update it within the utilities, and you have a nice preview in the gamepad test on how it works. Another thing we added is the enable Fortnite strafing, and once you enable that, it will be an easy way to set up the double movement within Fortnite. We also published a profile code that has everything already in there, so just import it, drag it to one of your active analog profiles, and it should work right off the box. And as you can see, right now I'm holding down my W and S key, and the curve isn't like exactly 45 degrees. It's a little bit steeper to get like the nice and precise double movement. And if you turn off the Fortnite strafing, you see it turns back to a 45 degree angle. And I think these are the most important things about the new beta. And a special thanks to Rocky, Darren, and Esteban for helping us in the alpha, giving us a lot of feedback and making some sense of the analog curve. And that's it. I think that's it for the 10-minute update.
When is the beta available, Erik?
It's now available. So if you head over to Discord, there's a utility beta channel. If you look through the pinned post, you'll see like a pinned post about the beta with download links for your platform, either Windows, Linux, or Mac. Be sure to update the firmware as well. So once you have downloaded and installed the beta utility, under the settings it will be prompt to also update the firmware. Please do it, because else some functions won't work. Yeah.
Oh, is this? There's one more thing in the utility beta. Player slots. That's working, right?
That's working now. Yeah. So it's very convenient for troubleshooting.
Can you do the player slots?
So what you now can see is in the utility is here are the active slots, and that tells you on what slot your keyboard is in. So as you might know, with Xbox controllers, you can hook up multiple Xbox controllers or multiple gamepads or controllers to your PC, and every gamepad gets assigned their own slot, like 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's the same on it's the same with Xbox or PlayStation, where you can have up to 4 controllers there. And sometimes some games, they don't recognize your gamepad if it isn't in the first slot. So you need to make sure that your keyboard is within the first slot, else you may experience troubles in a game. And the way you can do it is by unplugging every controller and then and the keyboard as well, and then the next time, then you plug in the keyboard first and then your other controllers, and then the keyboard should automatically slide into slot 1.
Yeah. All right, awesome.
Another little note. I think this will be a very short beta period, and we will push out to the stable version pretty soon, probably within 2 weeks.
It would be really helpful if everybody jumps on beta to give feedback on any issues or any weird stuff that happens, anything really that you notice in the beta version. So then we can make sure it's stable enough before sending it to public. We really want to send this to public soon because this will be the last utility version 3. And then we want the next utility update to be version 4, which will come with the Wooting 2 Lekker edition. And that will have some major UI UX changes. The things you just saw will just look better, especially, and we'll have a lot of new functionality specifically for the Wooting 2 Lekker edition and the Wooting 2 HE. And utility version 4 will not immediately be available for Wooting 1 and 2 FlareTech keyboards. You will stay on version 3 for a bit longer because we need to troubleshoot version 4 a bit more before we want to push it to FlareTech keyboards. Because there's probably going to be some bugs and glitches and issues in the first version 4, and we don't want to push that out to everybody. While with Lekker edition and eventually with Lekker edition first, it's just limited to 1,000 people that can complain and moan about issues. No, I'm just joking about that part, but it will only affect 1,000 people, and it's much faster and easier for us to push updates much faster to fix things. Instead of pushing it out to many more. So, okay.
That's it for the 16-minute update. Thanks for watching it on YouTube. Hopefully next time you can see it on live stream. Yeah, that's it. See you in 2 weeks. Bye YouTube. Bye bye. That's it.